well. I am doing okay. Um, First, let me start off by saying everything has changed since I've been a kid. Okay, that's a bit of an overstatement. Plenty of things have changed. How's that? I mean, I'm sure parents are still doing what parents do. I'm sure grandparents are doing what grandparents do. Right? So, I am going to talk about what comes to my mind when I make that statement. Hopefully you guys could feel the same way, or then I'm driving, so I'm paying attention to what's going on. So if you hear pauses in my conversation, it's because I'm looking around, make sure I'm safely driving. You know what I mean? And speaking of that, let me just say right now, I'm not going to be able to follow along the conversation in chat quite so easy because, well, my job is to drive, not chat on the phone for the next 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So now, if I was younger, I might have a different attitude about that, right? So when I say things have changed since my childhood, what I mean is I grew up in the 80s and was thrust into adulthood in the 90s because I had kids. Early 90s I had kids at a very young age, might I add, but that's not really the point of this conversation. So I'm mainly thinking about my childhood and how me and my friends were when we were kids and such, and the differences. See how much gas is here? 329. Drop a comment below what it's like in your area. So yeah, even in the 80s and 90s, getting my first car. Funny story, since I just passed gas station, I heard old timers, the old heads, as I guess I hear people say, talk about how expensive gas is and such. And I'm getting gas, and I'm like, it's not that bad. I'm paying like 98 cents a gallon, 96 cents a gallon, or something like that. And I'm thinking, this ain't bad. Freedom for about $5 or about $12 a gallon tank or something ain't bad at all. And then I found out that it was even cheaper. I was putting premium gas because I was young and dumb, didn't know what I was doing. So I was putting premium gas in a Buick Celebrity, or I believe it was a Buick station wagon. It's like, what the heck? After I found out, it's like, so I could have been getting gas for like 70 some cents a gallon. So by the way, I just recently hit 50 subscribers to be able to do this live, first live. So I feel a bit accomplished this time around. So if you could give me a thumbs up, that'd be awesome. People could hear me. And I might lose you guys coming up around this corner here. I've walked this hill before. It's not fun when you're a kid. But so yeah, I just recently hit the 50 subscriber mark. So, but yeah, living in the 80s, growing up in the 80s was amazing. And I say that because I was in the middle. Those born and raised in that time frame, we got to see all the old time being raised up. Our parents, they didn't know nothing about technology. They didn't have video games like we did growing up. They didn't have, well, computers were started when I was in grade school, like 6th grade, something like that. And so, all these things that we got to experience that our parents never did. We didn't have no Google or anything like that, but playing video games by putting a disc into the computer was fun. Atari, that was a blast playing Pac-Man on a Saturday. But our parents were not very nice to us. We couldn't just sit in our bedroom all day on a Saturday and play our video games. They got tired of hearing that noise and hearing us. So they would tell us, get lost, go, get out of the house. I don't want to see you till dinner time. And they weren't kidding. They wanted us gone. It wasn't this, check back in an hour. No, they told us, get lost. And sometimes in those words. Yeah. They didn't want us hanging around playing games all day. So we would use the technology as much as we can, games, computers, and such. But we also had to go outside and ride our BMX bikes and hoppy bikes and find our friends and man, not exactly sure what that means. Way to go, maybe. And see, that's the other side. Sorry about my whole thing just kind of went crazy there. But that's the other thing about people my age. We don't get acronyms that easy, that quick, That's that. What I mean? I guess I shouldn't put it that way, because people, they know. I like to group myself as I'm speaking for everybody, but obviously that cannot be the case. But so yeah, we used to have lots of fun though, going out in woods like this. We would see woods like this and we'd go running through it, and nobody would have a clue where we were. They didn't care until it got to be around 8 o'clock at dinner time. So around 6 o'clock at night, if they didn't see you, they weren't looking for you. But you were in trouble when you walked in that door, I'll tell you. They definitely didn't take the time to find us. It was, I think, you could be gone for a day before they got worried. And then they're calling up your friends' parents and saying, hey, is so-so there? And sometimes they found out the whole group was gone. And what we'd do is we'd go and in these woods and such and just kind of camp for the weekend or whatever. And boy, would we get our backsides sore from spankings and such we'd get when we come back. These curves here are something else. People like to crowd the one side of the road to the other. Yeah. So we got to grow up in the best of both worlds, technology and old school. We didn't have our parents harping over us all the time. And no, this is not what, I really didn't have a plan for this conversation. I just figured talk about my childhood and see where it goes. And if you're born in my time frame, you'll get it. If not, there's internet. You've heard all the stories. Oh, they would lock them out of the house and I don't know, whatever horror stories you've heard. Let's see if I can fix this for you guys a little better. Probably not. I don't have the money to be wasted getting all these fancy stuff for my phone holders and such. I think this is a $3 Walmart special. But so, yeah, my goal for this channel is to kind of talk about different things that's happened in my life throughout the years. See if I can make it relate to what you guys have to deal with. I have my grandkids over. Some visit more than others, and they like to try weird foods with me. I don't know why they like to make Grandpa try these weird, crazy hot foods, weird food combinations and such. But you know, I just picked up some ramen noodles, couple new chicken wing flavors. I don't know if you guys ever had those or not, but I'm sure that's going to become a video with the grandkids, us tasting those, because they love doing these videos with me. And you know, I enjoy doing them with them because it bond, you know, that bonding experience. Gotta love being able to hang out with family when you can. Family is important to me. I hope you guys have a good, strong family bond. Siblings, kids, grandkids, parents. You know what I mean? That my conversation ain't what you're hoping it would be. Hopefully the scenery is keeping you guys around some. Pretty area through these parts, you know. So let me think of how about, I think I could talk about this now without having to worry about police charges or anything for trespassing. So I remember one summer up in Jamestown, New York is where I was born and raised. You know, I was young, probably around 7, 8 years old, but I like to hang out with the big kids who are probably 14 or so. And nobody really wanted to go to school during the school year. For some reason, we found out that back then there wasn't really a lot of central air or anything in schools. So one summer we were down on the playground hanging out at our school I went to, and we seen a couple windows open. Yeah. So we decided we were gonna have fun and climb through and run through the halls of the school and see what we could do. Now, as far as I'm aware, nobody took anything. Now, there's about 8 of us, so I mean, who knows? But I know I personally didn't. I don't believe anybody did, to be honest with you. But so yeah, we did crazy stuff. Like, we were playing tag through the school. We were running around. We were playing in the gymnasium. We were. I even think my brother got into the principal's office, and I don't know what he did in there, but I know the last time we went in there, I don't know if they decided to close the windows or what. This has been about 40 some years ago, 38 years ago or something, but they closed the windows after we did it a couple times. And the last time my brother got in the office, and I noticed there was a lot of mean looking faces on the teachers and principal the Monday after that. But man, it was a blast running through the school and carrying on. It was something. So I think right about here is when I start losing internet connection with people for a minute. And it was kind of magical weekends. Nowadays as an adult, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but nowadays as an adult, weekends are just like whatever, just another day of the week. But as a kid, I imagine for all ages, not just people of my age, but all ages. It was. I look forward to the weekend, right? When you're in your 20s and such, you like to go out, hang out with friends and party. When you're a teenager or young, like 10-year-old or something, you go to a friend's house and hang out and chill out. You know what I mean? So, but it was back when I was younger, about 12 or so, 14. I had a group of friends that we would every weekend we'd go to my one friend's house, Tommy's, and I don't know why his mom was so nice, and his stepdad always letting us knuckleheads come over to his place every weekend. But we would grab some. We'd put money together and grab a couple of videos from Blockbuster, and then later on Family Video, and grab snacks. I mean, we bought enough snacks to freaking feed a small army. Some reason we felt like we needed like 50 pounds of chips and Little Debbie snack foods. Excuse me. And then I don't know, we'd go and hit the fountain drinks at a 7-Eleven type store called Wilson Farms. So we would go to this Wilson Farms, this 7-Eleven type store, and buy these snacks and such. And we all would hit the soda machine. And shout out to the cashiers that never gave us a hard time about being little idiot kids in the store. But we all had money, so they didn't chase us out. But so we would go to the soda fountain, and I've heard this called several different things, but we'd go take the biggest cups they had. I think they were called big gulps. And we'd go and we'd fill up the glasses with every single type of soda they had in that machine, in that soda machine fountain. And what we call it personally was swamp water. Now, I don't know what you guys would call such thing, but that was ours, with swamp water. People call it tombstone. I've heard it called and such things, but we always, when I was growing up, it was called swamp water. And I don't know if it tasted good or not, but there was about 5 of us all hopped up on all that different caffeine. I don't know if you guys do that now. So yeah, we'd spend the whole weekend watching movies, eating snacks. Then we got into playing poker. You know, we'd buy the plastic chips and cards, and we thought we were slick people, and we thought we knew what real poker players were like we knew anything. And yeah, we always come up with dumb stuff on that too. It couldn't just be a regular 5-card poker or whatever. It's been a while since I played. Now we'd come up with weird dumb stuff like 5-card stud, I think it was called. Jokers are wild. One-eyed jacks. It was like black, all black cards are this, and twos are really threes. We would come up with some pretty weird stuff. And it's been many years, so I don't remember exactly what it was, but so, you know, we'd be yelling out these crazy terms that at the time we knew what they were, but am I back online? I know where I live here. I get in and out of the internet all the time, so it makes it kind of tough to do live as I'm driving. So I know this is usually a dead zone with little pockets of internet. So yeah, 80s was definitely a different time. I don't know. Did everybody come over to your house to hang out, or did you go over to another friend's house? Or were you more of a loner? Now, when I got into junior high and such, that's back when the big hair bands and heavy metal and all that was out. I was a long-haired metalhead. Thought that he was cool. When now that I look back as an adult, I was just a dumb kid with long hair. So it was fun, you know, finding your tribe. And one of the cool things about the 80s was all the neon. Glow in the dark stuff, you know, that stuff was pretty cool. So as I get more into this channel, as in knowing the directions and such, these live streams won't be as random topics and such. I'll come up with different things I want to talk about, and hopefully it aligns with what you'd like to hear, and this channel will grow. This channel started off with the name of Just a Chat because, well, you know, that's what I thought it was going to be about, was me just chatting and not really having any focus because, well, I got so many other channels that I wanted just an authentic channel just of me, and so that's why it was originally named Just Chat. Well, then I started doing different videos with the grandkids on here, and so I started getting that vibe. So I was like, Grandpa's place sounds just as good as Just Chat, and give you guys a little more idea of what the channel's about, right? So I'll come up with topics. Hopefully they vibe with you. Hopefully it's something that you guys will enjoy. It won't be just here and there. It'll be really focused talk, and you know, try to give some life memories and lessons, and not so much to preach or advice, but say, hey, you know, I've been through this, so I know this is good advice. Oh yes, it's wonderful scenery here. That's for sure. That's why I like living out here. It's been a little cold, that's for sure, but it's nice. So hopefully, like I said earlier, my conversation might not be the best, but you get a little scenery with it, right? That's why I don't have the camera facing me, because you guys get to have a beautiful view, as opposed to old guy who's tired from working all day and on his way home. So I hope that settles with you guys well. But speaking of home and all that, I am almost home. If you guys can take a moment, for those that want to, and find a little value either through me or through the scenery, subscribe please, because this channel has a long way to go to grow, and that would be awesome if you could do that, right? So I appreciate hanging out with me on this ride home. Now my old butt gets to take a nap, because I get up at 2:30 in the morning, 2 to 2:30 in the morning, so I could go to work. That trip that you just see me drive, that's my trip daily from work to home. So, and I do that at 3:30 in the morning. I leave the house, so I get pretty tired. Nap time for this cranky old man. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping at Grandpa's place. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining my first mobile live. See you later.